What's up, guys? Tyler here, back for another episode of the Snapped podcast. This show, I'm going to try and bring you guys all the stuff that's going on in my head about health, fitness, diet, exercise. That's kind of my background. I also love comedy. I love current events. I love sports. It's going to vary. We're going to bring on people sometimes, occasionally, that are going to help provide some content for the show, spark conversation, and hopefully every time you listen to this podcast, you can take away one thing that made your day just a little bit better. Thank you for tuning into today's show. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get it.
What is up, guys? What is up? All right, real quick, new episode of the Snap Podcast. We're here. Maybe you're bored. I don't know what you're doing, but you're filling your time with this. I'm so happy you are. Thank you guys for following along, continuing to check in with me on this personal journey, whatever you want to call it. I want to do a quick episode about taking time for yourself, taking time off. I think the overarching theme of this is just going to be knowing when to slow down. As you guys know, if you listened to the last episode, I did a marathon on the 17th of October, 2020. It is 11 days after that. And we're working on, being 2 weeks post-marathon. And the marathon was great. I talked about that in the last episode, obviously, and you can hear more about that there. All the specifics, mindset, paces, basically my entire journey through that day. But in the aftermath of that, I was beat up really bad. If you follow me on Instagram, you can check out the post-race photo my wife got of me. I am in full lower body cramp. I played Division I football. I played football through high school. I played AAU basketball through some intensely hot summers, 3, 4, 5 games a day, baseball when I was younger. I've never cramped up as bad as I did. I've never been in full body shutdown as much as I was after that marathon. And that makes sense. 4 hours straight of running. I think that this example is a slightly more clear reason to slow down, but I think everybody has their reasons to, when things are getting really jumbled up in life, things start to move way too fast. You start going through days where you don't even remember what happened. You got so much shit on your plate that it's just getting to be too much. The stress is high. You're starting to not do things, miss out on things that make you feel good, make you feel happy. I think it's time oftentimes it's a situation where people need to slow down, cut things out of their life instead of add things in. Sometimes you can do addition by subtraction. And I think that's what this podcast is about. Maybe that'll be the title. So I was in full body cramp mode. I'm sitting there. I had already 2 or 3 weeks previous to the race day been dealing with some Achilles issues. My right and left Achilles both I was having trouble, mostly because of the shortened time frame to prep for this amount of distance, 26 miles. My Achilles were having trouble recovering fully and coming down from the inflammation that they would bring themselves to during and after my long training run. So 15, 17, 20 miles leading up to the marathon. My Achilles would be inflamed and it would take several days for them to feel good again. And I ended up actually having to miss a training day, 5 or 6 full days of actually running on, just because I was messed up. So that further increased the intensity of what my training schedule looked like as far as how fast it was happening. And so by the time I got to race day, I had basically done everything I could to mitigate how that felt. I was fine to run. I was what I would call 70 to 80%, and I got it done. There was nothing that was going to stop me from completing that marathon. But in the aftermath, I was left with not just Achilles that were in need of a serious break and some serious recovery, but a body that was in need of serious recovery. And that was due to really my own fault. But, I like to push the envelope. And throughout all of my marathon training, I think it lasted 16 weeks. So, 4 months or so, 3 to 4 months. The entire time I was training CrossFit. I was doing my regular exercise, lifting weights, doing some metabolic conditioning, you know, Olympic lifting, all this stuff, interval training that goes into CrossFit on the days where I wasn't running. So I was training 7 days a week. My rest day each week was Sunday, where I was doing a 2 to 3 mile recovery run at like a 9.5, 10-minute pace. I didn't give, I pushed too hard in too short of a time frame, and my body felt that. And so this is a good reminder to me. I quit the CrossFit stuff a couple weeks before the marathon because I just had to recover. I had to start doing something to feel good for that race day. And now here we are 11 days post marathon. I haven't worked out, and this is really the theme of the podcast. I have not worked out since the marathon. I'm talking, I haven't even gone for a walk in a walk with the intention of this is my exercise for the day. Part of that is it's gotten colder. Otherwise, I probably would have, and I still could. But for the first 5 days, we're talking Sunday after the marathon that I ran on Saturday, Sunday through Thursday, I had to support myself on the railing going up and down the stairs. My Achilles and my hips actually were not functioning great. And it took me 5 days to actually walk without pain. Not severe pain, but, general discomfort. And so that was, about a week ago now when I started walking, right? And even though I could walk without pain, extended walking, this sounds so stupid, but I went to the grocery store to pick up groceries, and 20 minutes of walking and pushing the cart around the grocery store, even just that amount, flared back up the Achilles again. So my Achilles is still not 100%. I think everything else has fully recovered, but for people who know me or follow me, I mean, I have this podcast based on fitness, the personal podcast. I brand myself as a fitness nutrition coach. If you check my Instagram, it's just shirtless videos of me working out. I mean, this is what I do. I work out every day. And to not work out in almost 2 weeks, not as much as even a walk. I've done a few push-ups to get my stand hour on my Apple Watch. It's different. And I think it's a really good lesson for people who need to slow down. This could be in fitness or just in life. Because what I've realized is part of working out is looking good. I like the way I look. I like what working out has done for me and the way I look. And I haven't done it in 11 days, and I still look, and I haven't been eating well either, or clean, I would say. I haven't been eating crappy, but I could definitely be better. And 2 weeks, some people, they get into this, it's almost a rut of I have to work out. I have to, if I don't do every single thing I can for 1 day, 2 days, everything goes to shit. I won't look good anymore. I won't be fit anymore. And that's just not the case. And I think that's one of the big things I'm realizing. And it brings up another instance in my life that I think really points to this. When I was done training for the NFL and I lost what ended up being 55 pounds in the span of about just under a year. I was 240 pounds, 243 pounds on May 5th, 2018, which is about the time that I moved in with my wife, fiance at the time, and had officially given up on the football dream. It wasn't really a dream, the football opportunity, potential. And so I decided, all right, cool. I put on all this weight intentionally to try and be enough for the NFL. I no longer need that. So it's time to lose the weight. The problem is at the time I had, and I didn't know this yet, but I had a torn patellar tendon in my knee, which bothered me. Basically, it was like a 2 out of 10, 1 or 2 out of 10 when I was just walking. But anything more than that, it hurt, at a pretty significant level, enough that I knew something was wrong. And so I really couldn't work out to help lose the weight because I knew that I would potentially be further injuring myself. I told myself that I was going to start eating right. This is when I started the intermittent fasting. But I wasn't going to work out. I did zero working out. I'm talking zero working out. Maybe a couple walks with my wife. For May, June, July, I had knee surgery. I gave myself those 3 months to see if my knee would heal itself. It didn't. So I had surgery, patellar tendon surgery, in August of 2018. So now we're May, June, July, August, September, basically 5 whole months. I mean, we're looking at like 150 days of no working out. And in that time, I was pulling back. I was intentionally, and it was very hard for me, but I was pulling back. I was intentionally taking that time because I knew that my knee needed it. And at some point, once I had the surgery, I couldn't do anything on it. All that time, starting at 240 pounds, by the time I was ready to work out and start doing things again, I was 205 pounds by the time my knee was healthy and I could actually start working out. So in 5 months, I had lost 35 pounds. That was strictly from diet. I looked way better, felt way better with 5 months of no working out, but just nutrition. So I think it's very important for some of us, and many of you listening are probably trying to do more and get more involved, more consistent with your routine. So this may not speak to as many people, but take note, take stock of the energy and the amount of things that you're doing with your fitness and your nutrition and maybe in your life. And see if you can't do a little bit of addition by subtraction. The 5 months I took off were incredible. I was not in good shape. I couldn't, my mile time wasn't good. If I went and tried to do a CrossFit workout and go fast, I couldn't do it. I couldn't lift a lot of weight. No. But taking that time off and focusing just on my nutrition allowed me to lose 35 pounds, all while I helped my knee heal, because eventually I knew I was going to be able to work out on it again. A huge basically half of a year phase in my life where As much of a fitness guy as I am, I did zero fitness. And it was beneficial for me. Sometimes we have to look at the situation. And now I'm entering another one of those periods of time where basically since that time, October of 2018 till October of 2020, I've been working out every day, minimum 5 days a week for 2 years straight. And I got to a point where, because of what I was training for, the severity of a marathon, what that does to you, I kind of forced myself into another break here. We're going on 2 weeks. I think the goal is to start working out we're going on a little mini vacay this weekend, but when we get back on Monday or Tuesday next week, so we'll be 2.5 weeks with no working out, we'll start back up again. Take stock of your life. Take stock of your nutrition, your fitness. Don't try to do too much. Make it simple. And add by subtracting if you can. Appreciate you guys joining me for this podcast. These are just my thoughts. Not a whole lot of people listen to them, but I think that they are relevant for some. And I hope that the words that come out of my mouth help somebody. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Peace.